Welcome to the online scoring webinar for the Woodcock-Johnson 4. This webinar will cover how to score your protocols online, how to share results with your colleagues, and how to print score reports. It is recommended that you open the scoring program in another window when directed and pause this webinar to look at the screens in your scoring program as you work through this webinar. We are no longer using CompuScore. There are no CDs for scoring. You will access the scoring program online. Your school psychologist should have set up an account for you, and you should have received an email from RPC Customer Service. You will need to access this email in order to complete your account setup. The email may be in your Sendio folder. If it is no longer there, see your school psychologist. The online program will continue to update, so you will always have the most current scoring program. The program will save your student scores securely until you delete them. You've probably heard that you have a time limit to access scores. This is not true. You have 90 days to change scores once you commit the test record. You will still be able to access the scores after this time, but you will not be able to edit the scores. Note that the scoring program includes resources and a help file to assist you in using the program. There is a Messages from Riverside box that will be good to monitor. They will continue to release new features, including score interpretation reports, so watch the messages to see what's new. To access the scoring program, Google WJScore or type www.wjscore.com into your browser. You will then be prompted to sign in. Again, you will get your login information from the email you received from Riverside. The first time you log in, it will be a good idea to set up your caseload folders. It is recommended to set them up by school year or building in school year if you are in multiple buildings. To do this, see the caseload folders window on the left side of your screen. You will see the Add Folder option in the header next to the Caseload Folders title. Click on the plus sign to add a folder and name it as you desire. When you're ready to score your first protocol, you'll want to add the examinee. We want each student in the system only once, so if someone else on your team is testing this student, work out a system so you'll know who will be adding them to the scoring list. Begin by clicking on the Administration tab at the top of the screen. The Add Examinee screen opens. In this screen, complete the general information. Note the red asterisk for required information. That's all you really need to complete. You will choose which folder you want to file this student in. When you save the information, a screen appears with information about that examinee. The examinee name also appears on your dashboard, which is what they call the home screen, under the box called Recent Examinees. The first examiner to enter scores for a student will add the examinee and will share with anyone else who will be testing. This applies when the psychologist and teacher will both be giving Woodcock-Johnson tests. You will see the Share button on the examinee information screen. This screen appears after you save your examinee information. You can also access it from the dashboard by clicking on the icon next to the student name that looks like a box with an arrow coming out of it. You need to have sharing rights. These are granted by your school psychologist. If your share button is gray when you try to save, you need to ask your psychologist to give you rights. Once you've entered the examinee information, you're ready to add your scores. From the examinee information screen, click Add Test Record. Again, this screen will pop up right after you save your examinee information. You can also add a test record from the dashboard. In the My Recent Examinees box, you will see the icon that looks like a piece of paper with a plus sign under Test Record. You can click here. To add your scores for a student that someone else has started, go to the Share Caseload Folders window on your dashboard. Click on My Shared Folders. You will see My Shared Folders appear under My Recent Examinees. Any students that have been shared with you will appear, and you can click on the Add Test Record icon. Note that when you click on any folders in your Caseload Folders window, these folders will then open in your My Recent Examinees window as well. And that's how you can get into them and access your individual students. When you click on Add a Test Record, either through the button or the icon, a list of test options appears. Click on the name of the test you wish to enter. The dropdown includes the test that we as a district have purchased. Then, your score entry screen will appear. Begin by entering the relevant demographic information, including the test date. Then, enter your scores. This screen looks similar to the screen you saw in CompuScore. Finally, you have the choice to click Save or Commit Test Record. Choose Save when you are still in the process of entering scores. When you have entered all scores and wish to print the report, you need to click Commit Test Record. When you commit test record, you have 90 days to edit the scores. After this 90 days, you will be able to view the scores and print reports, but you will not be able to add additional subtests. To print your scores, click on the Reports tab on the menu bar at the top of the screen. In the Report Type drop-down that appears, choose Score Report. Then, click in the Examinee selection box. A list of all your caseload folders appears. Click a caseload folder to view examinees with committed test record data. Locate and select the examinee for whom you are creating the report. Scroll to the bottom of the list and click Close to close the list. Under Test Record Form, select those you wish to print. Under Normative Basis, select Age or Grade. Remember to use age norms when comparing norms to an IQ test, as these tests also use age norms. If you're not comparing to an IQ, grade norms are preferable. Also consider running grade norms for students who are old for grade, as in students who started kindergarten late or who were retained. To set up your own score selection templates, under Score Selection Templates, click New and then Add Template. This allows you to customize the report to give only the numbers you want. We highly recommend that you do this. Remember, you need at least percentile rank and standard scores. This will help to minimize the score overload. Continue with select options such as the extended clusters. Usually you won't need these. Select from variations. Usually you can turn these off as well. Select from comparisons. Use these as you desire. Select grouping option. This one's important. Choose list tests under clusters. This will group your subtests with the clusters they're in and is much easier to follow on your score printout. That's new for this Woodcut-Johnson 4. Under Output Format, web page is best for copying and pasting into a Word document. I'm not sure why this is better than the actual Word icon, but that is what was recommended. When you've selected all your options, click Run to view the report. Click Save to My Reports to save the report to the My Reports list on your dashboard. Reports stay in My Reports on your dashboard for 14 days. After that, you'll need to run the report again. If you need help, try the Help tab in the upper right corner of the dashboard. Check out the Resource tab for more directions, including a very helpful manual that walks you through the score report and quick guides on how to do various things, like add examinees and generate reports. Much of the information in this presentation comes from the quick guides. See resources for information on accessing other report types. We haven't previewed the other reports, like the parent report yet. Please feel free to check it out. But remember, when borrowing information from reports for your evaluation, make sure you understand what you're reporting and make sure it's specific enough to suit your purposes. The last thing we want is a page of canned language added to our already long evaluation reports. With that, you're ready to get started. Good luck. If you review the resources and still have questions, email Terry Cairns.